G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Well, this video is going to be comprehensive and I'm going to need to cut a lot of derp out from Flatzoid. The links to the original videos are in the description as always, so go there if you want to see the full derp in all its glory.
Flatzoid's perspective, you could go over Wally's short. We just went over Wally's thing. What's saying Wally's short?
Thanks Rachie for pointing Flatzoid to the short that I made for him to test out his perspective knowledge. Shall I say that's what I'm doing it for? You rock Rachie.
Shorts. Ah, this one. With a perspective. Okay. Let's see. This is a short he brought out. I haven't watched it yet.
G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Sorry about the rocket frogs. It rained in Brisbane over the weekend and they're horny.
Notice how he's copying me when I said it's night here, excuse the crickets. Nice one.
Now I wanted to see if you really understand perspective, Flatzoid. Have a go at these three questions. Question 1. Which of these statements are true? Pause and answer.
Bobby is looking at a wind farm with a 100-meter high turbine. Okay. And I want to know, did he take refraction into account? So let's see. 100 meters high turbine. Turbine A is twice the angular size of B. The distance is 5 kilometers. Which statement below are true? B is 10 kilometers away. Based just on angular size? Yeah, Egypt.
How far away is LS61?
Again, that's not perspective. That's based only on angular size change. Okay? There's more than just angular size change when it comes to perspective, mate. How about parallax? Did you take parallax into account? So instead of telling me I don't understand perspective, the guy that went and studied art, that's majored in art, actually got drilled perspective, telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. And when you come and say things, idiotic things like, oh, just because angular size change, therefore perspective. No, dude. Get with it. You're an idiotic moron that doesn't know the things you talk about.
And bless you, Flatzoid, you naively think I'm just questioning you on perspective. Well, classic. How far away is E04?
Notice, guys, I can take this and change this back on him and say, oh, so you're saying perspective can cause distances? So by omission, guys, where's Wally's whole argument here is you can work out the distance based on angular size change, so therefore not earth curve.
Yeah, I'm asking you to estimate the distance for a very particular reason, mate.
That's his omission, yeah? Can I say that? Uh-oh, where's Wally? So if it is 7 times the distance because of angular size change, you have just shown math for angular size change, optical effects, not earth curve. Well done, where's Wally? You creating math for not earth curve. Uh-oh.
Pause and answer, if you can, that is.
Expedition through
Thanks, guys. The full debunk will, well, it'll come along soon.
Hey, full debunk will come. That's the best he's got.
Yeah, I have a bit more coming your way, Flatzoid. Now, he kind of says 7 times further, but I wanted to be absolutely sure. We all know Flatzoid can be a little bit of a slippery little sucker at times.
Where's Wally? Really has some explaining to do. Idiot. Still doesn't get him making a distance optically shows it's not earth curve. Well done, where's Wally?
I would have done.
Where's Wally? I did give you the distance. 6.2 times 7. There we go.
Oh, well done, Flatzoid. Now, I guess we're all wondering, what the hell is Wally up to today? Well, the Skegness video that Khan made, that I totally debunked with actual maths and numbers and facts and etc. Well, Flatzoid decided he would do the rebuttal video to my video. But when he finally did get around to it, he totally Flatzoided the main point. Allow me to show you what Flatzoid wishes he didn't see. So let's go back and look at the screen capture image of Khan's, shall we? Now, you guys seem to have forgotten something. Firstly, all turbines in this wind farm are the Siemens 3.6 megawatts and have a diameter of 120 metres and a hub height of 100 metres. In short, they're all identical. Now, Khan is telling us that the wind turbines on the left of the frame are 5 miles out to sea, and the grey shadowy ones are the same make and model and physical size, and they're only 1.5 to 2 kilometres further out, so 9.5, 10 kilometres. Now, Flatzoid, you self-proclaimed guru of photography and all things perspective-based, please tell me what you see here. Pause and identify the elephant in the room. I mean, at sea.
Oh, wow. That's called forced perspective. This hand look big, but because it's close. This head, far away. Hand, smaller than head now. Oh no. You get it?
Do you see it yet, Flatzoid? Fortunately, Khan was wobbling that camera up and down, and now I know why. He was trying to capture the full size of the close turbines. Now, let me just add those same 2 turbines. We saw them just a few seconds earlier, and we'll put them on the left here. Wow, do you see it yet, Flatzoid, Khan? Look at the relative sizes. Well, I did spell it out for Flatzoid. He did not address it at all. Maybe I explained it too well. So Flatzoid left me with just one option. To trick him into addressing it, and thanks to Rachie, Flatzoid did just that.
I would have done.
Where's Wally? I did give you the distance. 6.2 times 7. There we go.
So when Khan says those little distant turbines are 2 kilometres further away, Flatzoid, you're now going to respond with...
I would have done.
Where's Wally? I did give you the distance. 6.2 times 7. There we go.
Now, good to know that you agree that 2 kilometres further out from 8 kilometres is not at all correct. So when we work out how much hidden there will be for those distant turbines that are greater than 30 kilometres away in Racebank Wind Farm, the claim made by Khan in his video is incorrect. And thankfully, Khan also provided what is needed to debunk him.
The only way you can swing it is by pushing that furthest wind turbine further away, but somebody'd have to prove that it's further than what I'd say.
That's exactly what you've just done, so thanks once again, Flatzoid. Khan, these are the turbines you're looking for. So now that Flatzoid has totally debunked Khan's video and his own support of the claim, we see too much hidden, I will look forward to an apology from you.
Well, apologize to Khan and myself for your total disregard of reality.
So that takes care of Flatzoid's debunking his own mate Khan's video. Now let's have a look at the rebuttal video where Flatzoid white knights for me and puts the boot into Khan yet again. So for the first 2 minutes, Flatzoid just kept adding more. Now let's see what you actually have to save Khan and your precious...
That's 61 feet of extra earth curve.
...claim that I have thoroughly debunked.
Okay, let's stop this here. Let me go and show you, Wally, why you are a total clown who just makes idiotic assumptions and creates maths to suit his idiotic assumptions. While, like I said before, I don't even need to even say anything other than play a video that debunks you. But just because you've been begging me for the last week and a half, here you go. Where's Wally? Your destruction. I hope you're going to concede your fault and, well, apologize to Khan and myself for your total disregard of reality. We'll first start off with this. The substation, Wally. This is the reference to know where you are and what wind farms you are looking exactly about.
Why are you lecturing me like that, Flatzoid? I already said all of this in my video, and you played it yourself just 1 minute prior. Oh great, from those 6 turbines and the substation, we can work out exactly where you were on the beach and the angle at which you were observing from.
Yes, that's correct.
Great! You did watch all my video, didn't you?
Let's see if you can pay attention, Wally. What is going on here? So, we start off with Wally. You are here. Do you see those words written in white with this big red screeching out block? You are here. As far as I know, if a person is taking a photo and it says you are here, that means you are here. So obviously he knows where he was and where he took the photos.
Well, to be fair to me, that red call-out is showing where you are when you are looking at that sign. And at no time does Khan say that he was in front of this sign. And if he did, it doesn't matter because I did the correct thing and actually asked Khan where he was standing. And he told me. Additionally, I was able to determine if the nominated position was indeed correct. And it did seem to be that he was just south of the pier when he took the video that he used to show the boat in the turbines and ultimately where he did that screen cap and analysis.
Now, in relation to what I was just talking about, the substation, look where the substation is, Wally. There's only one substation for the whole of Link's wind farm.
Yes, I know. I used that one substation as my reference point. I don't see why the attitude, Flatzoid. Is this your debunking voice, or is this the voice that you use when you have that feeling of inadequacy?
Oh boy, not a good start for you, is it?
How? So far, I have done everything exactly as you are telling me I should have. It seems I'm nodding my head before you say it, thus indicating I know exactly what is going on here. Don't you watch my videos at all, man? Seems you don't have much of a clue about what I've said now, do you?
Let's pause it there for a minute, shall we, Wally? What do you see? Would that be the substation we just spoke about? And then you see wind turbines.
Yes, indeed I do. And you are using that voice again, implying that you're teaching me something that I've already showed in my video. Oh, maybe it's something that you just learned yourself from me. Yes, that must be it. Tell you what, can you name each turbine? Can you name each turbine you can see there? I can. From left to right there is ID28 at 8.3 kilometres, the substation at 10.6 kilometres, LS61 at 12.5 kilometres, then 0.4 of a degree to the right you'll see ID19 at 7.3 kilometres, and then LS9 at 9.5 kilometres. The closest one is ID10 at 6.2 kilometres. You're a bit of an ID10T, aren't you, mate? And LS43 at 11.5 kilometres, all within the field of view from 62.5 degrees to 64 degrees. How did you go? Did you get them all? I did.
Let's see if you can count how many wind turbines there are.
Count? I not only counted them, I identified them and told you the range and azimuth angles for each and every one of them. Whoa, how is anybody going to count anything while Khan is holding that P1000 standing in a hammock during a magnitude 6 quake? Actually, it will be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Now, what I did do, Flatzoid, that you clearly haven't thought to do, is just make a panorama from the stills when Khan's camera actually does get focus for a frame. I grabbed 11 frames from the whole video and stitched them together to make this panorama of the whole scene that Khan videoed. Well, as much as you are game to show me, that is. I note that you still haven't provided the raw video for scrutiny yet. I bet you won't either.
Don't you just love how the boat is traveling across a horizontal horizon and not a curved physical horizon, as you put it, Wally? Also note that the turbines in the background are succumbing to what we call perspective. Okay, let's stop it right there. What do you see here, Wally?
What I see is a boat not travelling very fast. Have you looked at that boat speed yet? One of the Andrew Johnsons did. Let's see what he did and what he has to say about Khan's boat, shall we?
And we're about to get into some fairly clear footage of this boat travelling across. Now, just taking a note of the timestamp here where it hits going in front of this turbine, 427-ish.
Don't you just love how the boat is traveling across a horizontal horizon and not a curved physical horizon, as you put it, Wally? Also note that.
And about 13 seconds later, it arrives at the in between these next two wind turbines. So about 13 seconds. Remember that for later.
The turbines in the background are succumbing to what we call perspective.
And about 15 seconds later, it comes near to the next turbine. Again, about 15 seconds. So about 13 seconds and 15 seconds between those two turbines. remember those numbers for later. Now, if you remember the boat earlier along, the boat travelled between those two turbines in about 13 to 15 seconds. Michael thinks that the boat was about here and travelled in between those in about 13 to 15 seconds. Now, going back to here, according to the official latitude and longitude locations of these turbines and the particular ones that Michael thinks he identified, they are about 700 metres apart. So we're going to pull up the calculator. We've got 700 metres. It travelled that distance in 13 seconds. That is 53 metres per second. Times it by 60, 3,230 metres per minute. And into more recognisable units, multiply by 60, we get 193,846 metres per hour. Now, Flatzoid, how many metres are there in a kilometre? You can get Hugh to help you work that one out if you want to. And Nathan, how do you convert metres to kilometres? Well, the answer is you divide it by 1,000. And if Michael was right about where that boat was travelling at 193 kilometres an hour. Now, somehow I don't think that is possible.
Do you see these three wind turbines in the front there? Do you see they conform to perspective as they are converging to the convergence zone? Note all the back turbines are past the limiting angle, so therefore you cannot see the bottoms of them as they are too far away.
Well, I looked it up and there is a formula that approximates how much will be hidden by the limiting angle. And here it is. D is the distance in miles to the hidden target and H is the observer's height in feet. So all you've got to do is take 1.32 times the square root of the height in feet, subtract that from the distance to the hidden target, divide that number by 1.32 and square the whole thing, and you've now got how much hidden in feet. Rather simple, isn't it? Gee, you guys are rather clever to come up with this.
Let's go back to this quickly. I don't know if you noticed this. Where's Wally? Did you see that circular thing with the stake in it?
How can you not be sure, dude? You are trying to debunk my video, and this is not the first time you're showing me that you've not even watched my video. Now, Andrew and I made a big deal out of finding that hazard marker, as that showed everybody we were in the same ballpark as Khan. I mean, standing at the end of the pier where Khan was.
Let me tell you why this is important. You see, this stake here tells us where he is, and the substation's angle tells us where he is as well. In relation to it, it tells us he's right next to the pier. Uh-oh.
Again, why feigning my failure here when you clearly have zero idea? I'm finding it rather disingenuous of you, Flatzoid, to be making up fails for me when my video that you are meant to be rebutting showed that I've already covered all of these points and more. Unless you're foreshadowing your own fail to come, well, that would be glorious if you stuffed it up after making all these childish uh-oh noises.
Now, let's use those references. That would be right next to the pier, and it goes all the way to Lynx Farm. It is 7.38 miles. Ooh, the distance isn't looking too good for you right now, is it, Wally?
Flatzoid, you put the distance at 7.38 miles. And be assured there is plenty of nudge nudge wink wink say no more over here when we see just how you got that distance too. You used Wally maths, the maths that I invented, remember? And then you say a truly Flatzoid thing. You said it wasn't looking good for me. So now you think I have the distance wrong after making a lot of fuss about having the angle wrong. More foreshadowing of your imminent stuffing up, perhaps? See, I had the distance to the substation at 10.6 kilometres or 6.6 miles. And Khan used 8 kilometres or 5 miles. Oh, so it was Khan that you were sucking the air through your teeth at. He was definitely the most inaccurate of the three of us, wasn't he? And thanks for throwing Khan under the bus for me. Khan was not very happy that I, as an Australian on the other side of the globe, should be pointing out his errors. But it seems you, Flatzoid, as a South African, are perfectly fine to do so. So I will never hear Khan complain about a mere Aussie doing anything remotely remote ever again, shall I? Otherwise, the words double and standard may just tumble out of my mouth and come your way. Okay, let's get back to the rebutting Wally. Remember, that's what you're supposed to be doing right now. Not defending Wally, rebutting Wally.
No, but just in case you don't believe me, you see this little line here? That is that reference we just showed. So you can see it's in his line of sight towards Link's farm. So you are totally wrong.
Khan, you forgot to add Khan to the end of that sentence. You didn't mean me, as I have both the distance and the angles correct. If you had watched my video, you would have known that, Flatzoid.
Right, so I'll take a screenshot there. Right, so as you can see, I've had to just adjust exposure and brightness a bit so you can see it a bit more clearly because it was quite murky.
Yep, standard practice. Good job. Oh, past Wally, yes, it was correct at the time to say good job, as Khan's effort did make the video clearer to see, as Khan's efforts did make the distance video clearer to see those distant turbines. However, Flatzoid, when replaying Khan's video, is showing a much clearer version by default. So now I'm thinking that Khan had made a bit of an oops and is removing the murkiness that he may have put there himself in the first place. Oh dear. Oh, Khan, if you had panned the camera from the green line to the red line, you would have counted around 20 turbines. So I'm sorry to say that where you're thinking you are not.
Oh boy, you just stepped in it now, didn't you? No, he knows exactly where he was.
I know that you're hard of understanding, Flatzoid, but when I said, Khan, you are not where you think you are, I was not referring to where Khan was standing with the camera. Rather, that he is not looking at the turbine that he thinks he's looking at. And I see the point that I made here is totally lost on you, Flatzoid. All those turbines with numbers on will be seen if the camera was panned from the substation to where Khan had put his red line. Please, tell us all why the huge close turbines would not be seen. ID10T Tower, appropriately named, I figure. Now, Flatzoid really should have caught that mistake, but he didn't.
Okay, where's Wally? Please excuse the crickets in the background because it is nighttime here. There we can see Racebank wind farm and we can see Link's wind farm. You are claiming he's seeing Racebank's wind farm.
In Khan's video, panning from the substation to the south, we see turbines from the Link's farm and the inner dowsing turbines and Racebank turbines.
With his angle. Let's zoom into his position spot where he was doing the observation. Let's turn a bit so we can see what's going on. Oh boy, what do we see here, Wally?
Well, we see that the foreshadowing you did earlier is about to be realised. I fear that you do not have the angles correct at all.
What's going on? On the right, Link's farm, wind farm. And on the left, Racebank, wind farm. You claiming he's looking out this way, when in matter of fact he's looking out this way.
Well, no mate, Racebank is behind Link's, so you will need to be looking in the same direction to see both of those. Please, Flatzoid? You see Racebank through Link's, just as you see Link's towers through inner dowsing wind farm.
Let's put on screen quickly what we're seeing with the still shot of the substation with the wind turbines. Can you see the wind turbines in the substation? Yeah, which way are those wind turbines situated to the substation? Where's Wally?
Well, they are right there beside the substation, Flatzoid. Do you want me to tell you the distances, the angles, and the relative sizes of each one as I identify them? I can. I have that information. Do you?
So, I suggest you rather concede and say, yep, you got it wrong. You created maths to suit your narrative because it didn't comport with the reality.
Let me play you a few minutes from one of the Andrew Johnstons who did an amazing job of understanding what Flatzoid was doing and also what he wasn't doing. Take it away.
So, this is his observation point you see right next to the pier. Now, let's use those references. That would be right next to the pier and it goes all the way to Link's farm. It is 7.38 miles. Ooh, the distance isn't looking too good for you right now, is it, Wally? No, but just in case you don't believe me, you see this.
So I'm just going to roll that back there a second. And I'd like to thank Flatzoid for leaving the coordinate grid on his view of Google Earth here, because we know with good accuracy where he has put this marker, where he is telling us that Lynx Wind Farm is. And why he's concerned that it's 7 miles away. Well, we agree, 7 miles, I don't know, about 11 or 12 kilometres. Don't disagree with him there. However, the direction he's facing at 86 degrees out to here, virtually straight off the coast, I'm not sure why he's chosen that point, because that is not the direction of the substation. So, as you can see here, this view is roughly the same. And let's just turn on. That is the point that Flatzoid picked as where the Lynx Wind Farm is. Now, I don't think he seems to understand the Lynx Wind Farm covers all this extent of quite a few kilometres, and he's chosen this point. And just to confirm that, we are going to place a line from here out to here, and sure enough, about 12 kilometres, 7 or so miles, and at about 86 degrees. So indeed, this is confirmed that this is the location that Flatzoid chose to decide where the Lynx Wind Farm was, and we've got a line there to connect it. Now, in actual fact, we can see that the substation and the wind farms, the wind turbines that even Khan says that he was looking at just near OSP2 are in this direction. Instead of being 86 degrees, we find that they are about 63 degrees. So I'm not sure why Flatzoid has decided that Wally is looking here about 20 degrees to the right, when Wally and I agreed Khan was standing here and looking towards this area here. So that needs some explanation, Flatzoid. Why have you chosen this location for the Lynx Wind Farm when the Lynx Wind Farm is this big and we know we are looking in this direction? Okay, it gets worse.
And it goes all the way to Lynx Farm. It is 7.38 miles. Ooh, the distance isn't looking too good for you right now, is it, Wally? No, but just in case you don't believe me, you see this.
Interesting, Flatzoid has these locations in his My Places. Those are some of the markers he used for when Ruhif took him through Protothad's celestial navigation fix. Look up those locations and find out how far they are apart, and see how far Flatzoid was wrong with the Mercator and the AE projections compared to the actual reality.
This little line here, that is that reference we just showed, so you can see it's in his line of sight towards Lynx Farm. So you are totally wrong.
Right, so I'll take a screenshot there. Right, so as you can see, I've had to just adjust exposure and brightness a bit so you can see it a bit more clearly, because it was quite murky.
Yep, standard practice. Good job.
So now we have Flatzoid's straw man. We have his pin for the Lynx Wind Farm, which is way too far south to where everyone agrees that Khan was looking at. And we have a pin for the Racebank Wind Farm. Again, thank you for leaving your coordinate grid on, Flatzoid. We can work out that your pin for the Racebank Wind Farm is about there somewhere. So that's not a bad guess. And there's a line looking out to it a little bit too far to the right of where Khan actually was looking, but kind of close. But still, why do you think that Wally was looking here when Wally and I both said that Khan was here and looking at over here? So, got that completely wrong, Flatzoid. What's your justification for using that point for the Lynx Wind Farm?
There we can see Racebank Wind Farm, and we can see Lynx Wind Farm. You are claiming he's seeing Racebank's Wind Farm with his angle. Let's zoom into his position spot where he was doing the observation.
Sorry, I may have got that just a little bit wrong into what Flatzoid is claiming, but he's about to make it quite clear what he thinks Wally and I are claiming and what he thinks is actually going on.
Let's turn a bit so we can see what's going on. Oh boy, what do we see here, Wally? What's going on? On the right, Lynx Farm, wind farm. And on the left, Racebank, wind farm. You claiming he's looking out this way, when in matter of fact, he's looking out this way.
Okay, there we have it clearly. Flatzoid is claiming that Michael was looking out here, which, as we've decided, is way down here. So he's claiming that Michael, in panning his camera, moved all the way from here, over 20 degrees to the right, to this point here. Whereas Michael is claiming that he was looking from here and only about 3 turbines across when he was following that boat. So Flatzoid is wrong to suggest that Michael was looking out here, because Michael doesn't even claim that himself.
Let's put on screen quickly what we're seeing with the still shot of the substation with the wind turbines. Can you see the wind turbines in the substation? Yeah, which way are those wind turbines situated to the substation? Where's Wally? To the right. Okay. So that means as he pans to the right, he gets to see the other wind turbines from Lynx Farm.
So now in moving around in Google Earth, Flatzoid has gone about another 20 degrees to the right, which, if we go back to here, would actually have Khan looking somewhere way off to the end of Lynx Wind Farm. Quite a number of wind turbines to the right of where he was actually looking. So now that Flatzoid has completely misidentified much of what's going on here, he's going to claim he's right and that Wally and I are wrong. And at no point also has he told us what maths Wally has made up.
Not Racebank. So I suggest you rather concede and say, yep, you got it wrong. You created maths to suit your narrative because it didn't comport with the reality.
So that's the best parting shot you have now, is it? To compliment me on being a maths genius. Seems to me that is a feather in my cap and another point to debunk you. And on the logic of your statement, let's say I did manage to create some maths, then your job is to prove that my math is invalid. Not only did you not even try to invalidate my maths, but you used the same maths as I did, thereby validating my maths as both valid and acceptable. So in summary, what Flatzoid didn't do, he provided no backup for the unsubstantiated claim that Wally made up maths to suit his narrative. He made no attempt to rebut the speed of the boat and how that showed that Khan had the wrong target tower. He made no attempt to address the prospective size differences between the two sets of turbines. These are close and these are far away. What Flatzoid did do was actually measure the distance to the Lynx farm and throw Khan under the bus with it. And then he white knighted for Wally. By using Google to measure the distance, you validated my maths, as that is all I did anyway. So thank you for white knighting for me yet again. Now, by answering question 3 and stating that the same size tower that appeared to be 7 times smaller is 7 times further away, and as you can only throw someone under the bus one time, that is a well-known law, Flatzoid had to go around this by driving the bus over Khan, then reversing back over him and parking on top of him. Now that was indeed some white knighting for Wally yet again. And finally, Flatzoid, as you demanded an apology from me for not grasping reality, I shall now see your apology and raise you a dual apology for me for making false claims, and you must also apologise to Khan for encouraging him to go public with a video that was so full of holes it would have been rejected by the local Swiss cheese factory. Thanks, guys.
Derp. Oh, derp. Oh, derp.